Hello, highly esteemed followers. You're highly welcome to this video. I want to expose you to the difference between graphemes and phonemes. We bring this in when we consider the sounds of English language. Phonemes refers to the different segmental sounds we have. A phoneme is an indivisible unit of sound, whereas graphemes are the letters of the alphabet that can represent sounds. So that's to say, phonemes are what we hear. Phonemes are sounds. They appeal to the sense of hearing. But graphemes are what we see when we are reading. What is written are what? Graphemes. We see the letters to pronounce sounds. Right. So graphemes are the representations of sounds, of phonemes. We see graphemes when we read, and what is heard from us is sound. So, do you know that you can have the same grapheme but a different phoneme in a different situation? I want to consider a few graphemes in English language that has a different phoneme at the final position of word and different phoneme at the medial position of word. Let me begin with ER. If you have letter ER at the middle of two consonant sounds, you're likely to have the sound realized. For example, certain, term. Again, if you have the same sound ER at the end of a word, you're likely to have the schwa sound, vowel number 12, the shortest sound, the shortest vowel sound in English language, which is For instance, sister, father, mother, brother. The ER at the end of a word, that is at the final position of word, is pronounced as The same thing applicable to the grapheme OR. We have a different sound when we have OR at the middle of words, that is middle of two consonant sound, and we have a different sound at the end of a word. For example, border, Lord, and so on. We have the O sound, that's the long O. But when you have doctor, donor, what we have there in place of OR at the end of those two words is the schwa sound, doctor, donor. Another one I would like to consider very importantly is OUR. When you have OUR at the, again, it is important to note that when we have the grapheme OUR at the medial position, it is articulated or realized as or, the long or. But when we have the same graphemes at the end of words, they are realized as the schwa sound. So a typical example at the medial position is mourn, M-O-U-R-N, mourn, or burn. So in that case, we have it realized as or, but when we have it at the end of a particular word, it is realized as for instance, color, color. So we have the schwa sound, very short. So take note of this. These are special patterns of pronouncing words. When you have these graphemes at the medial position, just know the sound they suggest. When you have them at the final position, note also the sound they suggest. Thank you for watching this video. I remain Teacher Dixon.